Today, let us take some time to think about the Passover through the sermon titled, Passover, the Feast of Miracles. Let's go to Exodus chapter 12, verse 11. This is how you are to eat it, with your cloak tucked into your belt, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. Eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. On that same night I will pass through Egypt and strike down every firstborn, both men and animals, and I will bring judgment on all the gods of Egypt. I am the Lord. The blood will be a sign for you on the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you. No destructive plague will touch you when I strike Egypt. This is a day you are to commemorate. For the generations to come, you shall celebrate it as a festival to the Lord, a lasting ordinance. God's promise and the grace of miracles always accompanied those who kept the Passover. Let us turn to Psalms, chapter 91, verse 7. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only observe with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. If you make the Most High your dwelling, even the Lord, who is my refuge, then no harm will befall you, no disaster will come near your tent, for He will command His angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. Isn't the promise God has given His people, who keep the Passover of the New Covenant, so precious, gracious, and awesome? God teaches us why the Passover is an indispensable truth in the times we are living in now. Let's take a look at Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 2. Son of man, this is what the sovereign Lord says to the land of Israel. The end has come upon the four corners of the land. The end is now upon you, and I will unleash my anger against you. I will judge you according to your conduct, and repay you for all your detestable practices. I will not look on you with pity or spare you. I will surely repay you for your conduct and the detestable practices among you. Then you will know that I am the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Disaster, an unheard of disaster is coming. The end has come. The end has come. It has roused itself against you. It has come. Doom has come upon you, you who dwell in the land. The time has come. The day is near. There is panic, not joy, upon the mountains. There are so many unheard of disasters occurring these days. Don't you agree that the New Covenant Passover is the most necessary truth at this time? That is why God said His people should always have a mark on their foreheads to escape disasters. Let us read the Word of God in Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 3. Now the glory of God of Israel went up from above the cherubim, where it had been, and moved to the threshold of the temple. Then the Lord called to the man, clothed in linen, who had the writing kit at his side, and said to him, Go throughout the city of Jerusalem, and put a mark on the foreheads of those who grieve and lament over all the detestable things that are done in it. Now let's see, verse 5. As I listened, he said to the others, Follow him through the city and kill, without showing pity or compassion. Slaughter old men, young men, and maidens, women and children. But what will happen to those who have the mark? Do not touch anyone who has the mark. Isn't it written in Exodus chapter 12, For those who put the blood of the Passover lamb on their houses, the destroying angel did not bring disasters, but rather passed over them? Put a mark on the foreheads of those who grieve and lament over all the detestable things that are done in it. Do not touch anyone who has the mark. These are the ones who received salvation. That is why disasters passed over them, not through them. Passover is an essential truth for us, since we are living in an age of disasters. Let us go to Luke chapter 22, verse 7. Then came the day of unleavened bread, on which the Passover lamb had to be sacrificed. Jesus sent Peter and John, saying, "Go and make preparations for us to eat the Passover." What did Jesus say about the Passover? Go and make preparations for us to eat the Passover. Verse 9, "Where do you want us to prepare for it?" they asked. He replied, "As you enter the city, a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him to the house that he enters, and say to the owner of the house, 'The teacher asks, where is the guest room where I may eat the Passover with my disciples?' He will show you a large upper room, all furnished. Make preparations there." They left and found things just as Jesus had told them, so they prepared the Passover. When the hour came, Jesus and his apostles reclined at the table, and he said to them, "How did Jesus feel?" "I have eagerly desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer." Let's go to verse 19. "And he took bread, gave thanks, and broke it, and gave it to them, saying, 'This is my body given for you. Do this in remembrance of me.' In the same way, after the supper, he took the cup, saying, 'This cup is,' what kind of covenant? 'The new covenant in my blood, which is poured out for whom? For you.'" Passover of the new covenant that he eagerly desired to celebrate was established from the earnest heart of Christ. Let us engrave the Passover, the Feast of Miracles, in our hearts once again. I earnestly ask you to become those who can enter the kingdom of heaven. By this, I would like to conclude today's sermon. Thank you very much.